Hello bookworms, it's Jade from Bedtime Bookworm and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm here with my spoiler-free review of The Book of Koli by M.R. Carey. Before we get started, I do want to say that I received a free e-arc or an advanced reader copy of this book from the publisher through NetGalley in exchange for an honest review. The Book of Koli is the first book in what's going to be a trilogy called the Rampart Trilogy, and it's an adult science fiction book that I gave 4 out of 5 stars. This book is set in Europe in a post-apocalyptic future where the apocalypse has been caused by plants and trees developing a taste for flesh. This has caused humans to sort of regress in a way, and now they live in these villages that are spread far apart and are surrounded by walls to keep plants out. The main character of the story is Koli, and he is about 17 years old. So while this book is an adult book, I do think it works really well as an adult and YA crossover book because of the age of the main character and the coming of age theme that is in the story. I really loved the world building in this book, and honestly, one of my complaints is that I wish we learned more about it. However, I fully recognize that this is the beginning of a trilogy, and the way that this book ended definitely leaves room for a lot of expansion of the world in the upcoming books, which I'm super excited about. One thing I was really interested in that we didn't learn that much about was more information about these killer trees. There were some hints of how the killer trees came to be, but I would have loved to have learned a lot more about it. But I'm very hopeful that that information will be revealed in future books. Even though this is a bit of a regressed society, there is still a lot of old technology that is left over from the past. However, these pieces of technology that are often weapons are not responsive to just anybody. They will only turn on for certain people, and those people are then selected to be protectors of the village. Our main character, Koli, his dream is to become one of these protectors who are called ramparts. I do feel that the pace of the story is a little on the slow side, especially the first half. I thought the second half felt a little faster, but by the end of the book, I did feel like this whole book was kind of just a setup for the rest of the story, and it doesn't quite stand as well on its own as I would like. It is a full story arc, but it definitely feels like it's only the beginning of the story. One thing that took a little getting used to is that the book is written in a bit of a vernacular that Koli has, so basically in this future regress society, the English that these people speak is not quite the same English that we speak today. There's a lot of like bad grammar or wrong tenses used, and that took a little bit of getting used to while reading. But once I did get used to it, it wasn't that noticeable. Before picking up this book, I had heard someone mention that it reminded them of the video game Horizon Zero Dawn, which is a game that I have played and really enjoy. So going into this book, I very much had that kind of world pictured in my head, but I'm not sure if the regression of society is quite to the level of Horizon Zero Dawn. There are places in the book where I noticed that the clothing described were like trousers and shirts, so I feel like maybe in my mind I was imagining a more regressed society than maybe what was really on the page. But either way, I definitely see similarities between this book and Horizon Zero Dawn, and I really enjoyed reading this book while playing the video game. I mean, not at exactly the same time, but in the same time period. Another thing that I really loved about this book, and that definitely enhanced my enjoyment of it, is that there is an AI character in this book. Obviously a remnant of the technology from the past. At first, I wasn't sure what I thought of that character, but by the end of it, they were one of my favorite things about this book. Overall, I really enjoyed my reading experience with this book. It definitely wasn't quite as action-packed and exciting as what I had kind of hoped for. It was definitely a character-focused, coming-of-age story in this really unique and interesting setting. I can't say I loved Koli as a character. I think he has a lot of growing up to do, and I'm here to see him grow up in the next few books. Like I said, at the end of this book, I can tell that the world is going to really open up in the next couple of books, and I'm really excited about the groundwork that has been laid for what's going to happen next. I think if the setting of this book sounds interesting to you, with this being set in the future and there being like killer trees, but still remnants of old technology, if that world sounds interesting to you, then I definitely recommend giving this book a shot. Just go into it knowing that it's not a super action-packed story. It's more just following Koli as he tries to become a rampart, one of the protectors of his village, and the things that happen to him from there. The ending is definitely not a cliffhanger, but it very clearly lays out where the story is going next, and it's something that I am very excited to see. Alright guys, that is my spoiler-free review of The Book of Koli by M.R. Carey. If you have read this book, let me know what you thought of it down in the comment section, or let me know if you're interested in reading it. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more bookish content. That is all I have for now. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bookworms, keep reading. Bye. I think that if you think this book is set in Europe. This book is set in Europe. Bye.